Hello, hello, day 21 of Moon 1. Today's a Monday and I'm actually doing okay for time today. My name's Ollie, this is Red Sun Horizons. I'm an Eastern Physiotherapies practitioner from the south of England, that's Southsea Portsmouth in England. Practicing TCM acupuncture, acupressure, or Tweenar, which is what's still practiced in the hospitals of China today, along with acupuncture, and obviously they have adopted Western modalities as well. But there is a big kind of return to the previous in China, seeing like the offset of what happens with the other. Okay, so day 21, we are still following the Lunar Tao by Deng Mingdao, and this is day 21, so Chinese New Year was 20 days ago. The title for this is called Exchange. It is all about how we are affected by nature, but we also affect nature. So you walk through a field, you leave footprints, but you also you pick up things from said field, like things stick to you and dust and all that kind of stuff. We breathe in, we breathe out, we drink water, we expel water, all that kind of stuff. There's cycles, but it's what we learn through this and the imprint that we leave and what we are responsible for in this world. So breathing in and breathing out is a thing that kind of leads on to meditation. We are going to go through a brief sort of meditation and some variations of, without taking up too much time. And then we'll finish off with a really popular part of the Tao Te Ching itself, which is, or starts off with the Tao gives birth to the one gives birth to two gives birth to three, and three gives birth to all things, specifically all things physical. So going into that 369, like what Nikola Tesla was really obsessed with. The number three makes up everything. Obviously, three can make six, three can make nine, etc. And in numerology, three is the kind of the master number that creates everything. But obviously, when you say the one creates two, the Tao creates the one. That's the singularity. The one creates two. From the one came two. So that is your yin and yang, cold and hot, etc. Duality. Okay, and then from that came three, and three gave birth to all things. So everything that is physical that we can physically see and touch in the world. Yep, that's my interpretation. We will finish with that. So day 21 is called Exchange. And so there's a lot here, obviously, by the book, read through it, but briefly it's all about, yes, what we impart on the world and what we take from the world, and there's always an exchange with everyone we meet, and etc. Okay, so even the microbes in our body, so essential for life, were not with us when we were born, and yet they are an integral part of us now. We hear sounds and we speak. We walk in the fields, we leave footprints, but the dust also clings to us. We are not isolated and independent entities in this world, we are part of it. Okay, so breathing in, breathing out. So the other kind of bit from this that I want to kind of go into is the breathing meditation side of things. So yes, there's lots of different versions of. So what it kind of touches on really more here is Zen. Misconceptions of Zen meaning like the state, which is more that you attain through meditation, when really Zen is a Japanese word for meditation. So the original was called Chan Buddhism, which is a Chinese name for what we call Zen Buddhism. But Zen really refers to meditation itself. So Zen Buddhism is, they believe that enlightenment can be obtained purely through meditation, whereas other systems of Buddhism, like Mahayana, etc., which is predominantly the predominant practiced religion in Tibet, has numerous different systems, etc. Okay, so an easy system. So I'll read through the one as they give it here because it's nice and easy to follow. So sit calmly. Inhale deeply through your nose. imagining that the breath travels deeply into the depths of your abdomen. Exhale gently and steadily through slightly parted lips until you expel your breath. So as the standard. So we are talking abdominal breathing rather than thoracic breathing. So there are practices you can do to kind of like work on that as well, obviously. But breathing in through the nose, and we kind of covered this a few days ago using the 9 gates, where there was I can't remember what day it was, but the thing was called gates and locks. So that would be day 17. So we went through the 9 gates of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 and 9, and then did a breathing technique of how to breathe just to here, how to breathe 1, 2, then 1, 2, and 3. I'm doing this with my hands because obviously I'm trying to talk at the same time. But yes, you can. So you're trying to fill, and then automatically you start to fill up the back, and you start to trigger spinal fluid and work up the yang side, the more light, energetic side of your body, as far as transcendental meditation, etc. Okay, so this sense is they're saying obviously breathe in through your nose and breathe out through slightly pursed lips. You can put it that way. You can also breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your nose. It really depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to regulate and relieve tension in the body and just get yourself back into a parasympathetic state, then yes, breathing out through the mouth is a better version, or can be more helpful for that. So breathing in, abdomen should expand, not the thorax. This will progress with time if you're new to this, but you can place your hand here and one hand here and just try and focus on that hand, and then, you know, don't beat yourself up for getting it wrong, because, you know, that is, and any kind of analysis or talking to yourself, that's all chit chat, that's all tension. There's complete antithesis of what you're trying to achieve in meditation. So with with this standard meditation, so breathing in through the nose is always there, unless you're doing some kind of like that kind of like Wim Hof sort of, and some other type of shamanic things as well, which are for like dream work. But breathing in through the nose is a far deeper form of breath work, effectively. There is a case for breathing through your mouth as well as a standard thing is really bad for, 1, it can create gum disease, 2, it dries out your lungs. There's lots of other things. A really good book that goes into a lot of this is a book by James Nestor called Breath. It is up on that bookshelf somewhere, but ultimately that, yeah. Okay, so breathing in through the nose, trying to breathe through the abdomen, breathing out through. A slight gap in and you can kind of push through the teeth. Excuse me. So the next thing really is you can adjust breathing, so you can start to time your breathing. You can get, the nice way to start is just to count your breathing. If you find what we call the monkey chatter brain is always thinking, an easy way to take your mind off of that, because to go from absolute thought to no thought, like that is never going to happen. So just counting the in-breath. So I used to count and visualize the number 1 coming towards me internally in my mind, and then it going away on the out breath. So breathing in and out. In 1, out 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. Eventually this becomes quite boring after a few days, so you start to look for other methods, but that again, that is kind of the mind seeking stimulation, which is okay. So breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose is a little bit more towards energy accumulation. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth is more about relaxing and catharsis in a way. So there are loads of different forms of Qigong and Daoyin and Pranayama and there's all that kind of stuff that you can practice. Pranayama might be a bit more specific in its breath work. and things like Kundalini, which have breathwork that integrates with mantras or singing, etc. But through what I've practiced over the 20 past years, through Qigong and Dao Yin, which is a Taoist Qigong effectively, a lot of them can be used either way, so you can still practice, like for this is working through the pericardium. You can practice through the nose, or if you feel you need to let go at some point because something's welling up here, breathe out through the mouth. Once that's gone, then return back to breathing out through the nose, etc. This is really just looking at, you know, stretching through the pericardium channel and breathing to the abdominal area, the lower abdomen, so below the navel. So it's called Chi Hai. In Vedic, it's the Svadhisthana, or the sacral chakra. So about 3 fingers below the belly button. So if you place your index finger on the belly button, your little finger would drop into it. But there's lots of ways to get there, but you'll find a natural dip or a hollow. So everywhere where chi collects is a dip. So if you think chi is flowing everywhere on the body, if it wasn't, the body, that part of the body would not have blood flow and would become necrotic. So if chi is flowing everywhere, everywhere there's a little dip, there's a well there, and that is what we tap into with needles or influence with crystals or acupressure, etc. But Chi Hai, or the Svadhisthana, or the lower Dantian, effectively. In Chinese, you have the main 3 Dantian, Dantian 1, Dantian 2, Dantian 3, or the Japanese will call them the 3 Hadas, 1, 2, and 3. In acupressure points, that's, carry on with the sentence. Acupressure points, so Ren 6, Ren 17, and Yin Tang. Yin Tang has a name of itself. It's not affiliated with any of the 12 main meridians. And then within Vedic, you have the Svadhisthana, the Anahata, and the Ajna, or the Anya, as some people call it. Okay, so Zen Buddhism is obviously predominantly fixated with meditation, and it believes meditation is the path to enlightenment. There's lots of different types of meditation. To start off with, I recommend standard breathing, counting in for 1, counting out for 1, counting in for 2, counting out for 2. That in itself, especially if you're not used to sitting in an easy pose, or half lotus or full lotus if you can, that can be a lot. That's very demanding. Standing meditation is one that I used to practice a lot, and probably more than seated, because of martial arts. And Dao Yin is predominantly all done from a standing position. There are chair versions, and you can attune everything to someone who is needing a chair or is in a wheelchair, etc. Right. Before we go on too much, I think that is everything I'm going to take from that book. So we will go through other forms of meditation, and when it gets a bit more sunny and I've got someone to hold a camera for me as well, I might start putting in the occasional bits of Dao Yin from outdoors. It can be done from here as well, but ultimately I need to get a microphone ready before any of that happens. So yeah, if you're new to meditation and you want to look into it, by all means find either a Qigong school that teaches Qigong, or Dao Yin, or find a yoga or somewhere that just teaches pure meditation or breath work, or both. Yeah. Okay, so going back to that one. So this is number 42. So the Tao gives birth to 1. 1 gives birth to 2. 2 gives birth to 3, and 3 gives birth to all things. All things have their backs to the female and stand facing the male. When male and female combine, all things achieve harmony. Ordinary men hate solitude, but the master makes use of it, embracing his aloneness, realizing he is one with the whole universe. Okay, so I like those. It's the flow of it as well. It's all just like da 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 da. You can stop and think about that sentence, da 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 da, and stop and think about that sentence. It's a nice, really kind of, you can compartmentalize it. So the Tao gives birth to one, one gives birth to two, two gives birth to three, and three gives birth to all things. All things have their backs to the female and stand facing the male. So in this sense, obviously you've got to look at translation as well. But we are talking about yin and yang in that sense. So yang is more light, so we stand facing light. So light is the active thing that kind of illuminates everything. But we have our backs to the female. Yin is the physical, it's the yin, it's the thing itself. It is what nourishes us, is yin, and yang is what we use for movement, etc. So you could look at, if you think about blood and flesh and bone and everything else being yin, and the organs, the major organs that create something, such as glands and everything, are yin, and then yang is more the carbohydrates, the electrolytes, the chi that moves everything. It's more the energetics of things. We stand facing yang because we are obsessed with actions, but we have our backs to yin. We are, we're standing on yin. We are supported by yin. We are, etc. That kind of thing. Okay, so when male and female combine, all things achieve harmony. There is more to this, obviously, but from a yin and yang perspective. Ordinary men hate solitude, but the master makes use of it. Embracing his aloneness, realizing he is one with the whole universe. So, transcendental meditation. There's a good one by, I don't know if it's how obtainable it is, but I remember listening to a recording of what was his name? Wrote The Simple Truth. But yes, it'll come back to me. But he did a really good practice on a way to kind of see your, so basically to look at all things and then to see your body as just that, a thing. So you remove yourself from the attachment to the physical form. So it was literally just a simple thing like looking at a window and 3 times just saying window, 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 looking at a door, saying door, 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 all these things, and then just looking at your finger and just saying finger, 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 and eventually you disassociate yourself from that body, and then it's, and now what do you feel? Where are you? What do you feel? So what do you feel? What are you experiencing beyond your body, outside of your body? That kind of thing. And the most common answer was nothingness, which for me, I would say actually was more everything. Is nothingness, because it's all one. But yes, I don't know why I can't remember his name. Is it Eckhart Tolle? There you go, Eckhart Tolle. Yeah, there we go. Yes. So if you've never read anything of Eckhart Tolle, he has really nice ways of, doesn't just explain everything to you, he gives you practices so you can experience what he is saying. So, if you experience something and action it, you're going to retain it and understand it better than someone just talking at you. Yeah. So Eckhart Tolle is someone I would really recommend if you haven't read any of his stuff, or there are audio CDs, and you can get on streaming services audio books of his books. I've not listened to them. I'm not sure if they're read by him specifically or if they're an AI automation thing, which can be okay for some of them. Some of them are a little bit meh. But okay, that is everything for today. We're nearly at the 20 minutes and now I'm almost running late, so I need to get to work. So I will see you tomorrow.